This is a meeting of the Legislative Committee, and I will call us to order officially. So the attendance and roll call is going around and passing that. So next thing on the agenda is approval of the agenda. So if you guys have been able to look at the agenda and what we're doing,
I move for approval.
Second.
all right, I have a motion by Lynn and a second by Frank to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We have a unanimous approval of the agenda. Okay, if you would look at the minutes from our previous session, and that was back January the 8th. So if you guys will just look at that and give it a perusal, and then when you're ready, I will
Are we on?
Ask.
Oh, we don't have a light in here?
yeah,
No, for the camera, we don't have a light showing when we're on?
it's behind, it's green.
Okay.
Do you want to sign that? Well,
Okay.
it says guests.
You can sign it.
Yeah.
Do you need a pen?
Please sign in,
Oh,
sir.
you got one.
We'll get Miss Donna to sign in when she gets there, and let her sign the list. Just our guests and principal players and friends and folks that we like to have come to our meetings. Okay, and we're in the process of approving the minutes from our last meeting.
I move for approval.
A second.
All right. A motion and second. Commissioner Seaborn, did we get your name correct this time?
Oh, I assume so. I didn't read that correctly.
This is
on the
important.
names.
We missed
I
it
know.
last time.
I'm sure it's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good. We want to make sure we've got that. So we have a motion and second on approval of the minutes from the last meeting. What is your pleasure of voting? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Abstain.
Abstain?
I
Okay.
wasn't here, so I
All right.
can't say if they
All
were
right.
correct or
All
not.
right. We'll take it. So that approved. We have a quorum of 3. So that goes, and that is approved. Okay. Let me, do you all have that printed copy of the function and responsibilities for our legislative committee? Do you have that with you?
I don't.
I don't.
Okay. Just want to hand these out. I know you probably got one somewhere.
Is this talking about what's our role?
Purpose and responsibilities.
Okay. Thank you. Right here.
Would you like to see one?
No,
Counselor?
I'm
Okay.
good, I'm good with it.
If you got one, Frank.
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
okay. All right, let me just report to you that what I am doing, my OCD, I always like to know where my responsibilities and authority to do what we're supposed to do comes from. I'm on a hunt. This is a working trail of looking for the standing committees and where they're coming from. I've gone back to 2015 and searching forward, and I have finished and completed the one for the legislative committee, so this is accurate and up to date. I'm hoping to finish with all the other committees. At that point, we'll put them together and we'll present them to,
You said you went back 2015, is that from like the county commission approving it or
yes,
something? So it's out of
that there was an
yeah,
approval by the
good.
county commission
'Cause
on
I
several.
never did find anything.
Right.
in my-
And so I've been diving through the minutes, And if there was any update or resolutions or things like that that would change these, I was notating those, and you will get one of these. I'll print one of these out with my scribbling, and so you guys can follow that if you have any questions. One of the things, there's one committee here. Where is my? And the reason I'm doing this is because just this thing. The Policies and Procedure Committee was changed back in 2015, and it was given a different name. It went from the Personnel and Compensation Committee to the Policies and Procedure Committee, and it was done by resolution. And so I'm going back to find out where those are and then their responsibilities. So doing things like that, just so we have clarity. And again, once we get this,
When the Policy and Procedure Committee changed, now I'm dating myself, I'm the only person in the room that thought, I thought several years ago we changed it too, just in the recent, right?
well,
2, 3 years ago.
I'm not up to date yet.
I think we did 2 or 3 years
But,
ago. But
As soon as I'm done, and any of you all are welcome to, join me in that search. But that's what I plan to do, the standing committees document that we have. Anything that's not in there by Tennessee Code Annotated, these are just standing committees, local or established by a resolution or changed by that. I'll show you that search. And then we'll have the latest, hopefully, in all these committees. And we'll bring those to the full commission for approval and reestablishment as far as, this is the latest, greatest description. And then hopefully we'll make some binders and some things with this information and place it at strategic places, like in the mayor's office, maybe the parliamentarians' position in the commission room and different places like that, so that it is available for our citizens and those among us who need that information. Any questions about what I'm
No, I think
doing,
that
or
sounds great.
anything, insight that you see I need to be doing?
Needs to be online after we're done.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, we're gonna make it, we will
Yeah.
put that online.
sounds great.
Okay, just some clarification there. Now, in light of that, you see the next thing on our agenda is the proposed banking security program. And I noticed that, John, I know you brought that to us, and I'm all for security and that type of thing that we're doing. But like in searching for these committees and things, I know there's an investment committee, and then also the Budget and Finance Committee would have some say about this.
So, first of all, I apologize because I've just been unable to get anything done on this in the last few weeks,
Okay,
like I thought I was gonna be able to. I think we need to check in with the mayor's office as well, because that's kind of a office policy. Budget Finance Office actually answers to the mayor, not to me. Now, maybe the commission has a right to make that policy, but I think it needs to be run through them first. At least check with the mayor and see if they even think it's a good idea. I mean, I think if they think it's a good idea, then obviously they could bring it to us, to Budget and Finance for funding. I don't think this board would even have to approve them doing that. What we're talking about is this positive pay thing.
I get it.
And, if they want to use a service and we agree to fund the service, I think that would be the end of that. If they don't want to do it, then we have to decide whether we even have authority to tell them to do it, or if that would be wise. So,
yeah, that was my question, is we can approve the process that goes through that proves this, but is actually approving it, I thought it would need to be referred to the Budget Finance Committee or to the Investment Committee and get them to just bring it to us to present to the commission. What do y'all think?
I don't think it's an investment, so I don't think it's an investment committee.
You don't think it's an investment? Okay,
I think
but,
it's so short term, yeah, you're right, it's not
It's a service.
yeah,
It's just a
a
banking,
utility.
it's a banking service.
it's a utility.
Yeah.
Okay.
so,
I agree with Lynn over it, that it is, it's a service, it's something that, like you said, as long as the funding's available, if those that wanna participate wanna seek the funding and do it, I think that's where I think it needs to go, is through them.
And I will talk to Mary Ann about it in more detail. I'll try to do that this week. But
okay, well, my question was, is if we can approve somebody else's recommendation going to the commission. I just didn't know that we had the authority to actually state that this is policy and this must be done.
I suppose you could declare it to be a policy, I just don't think we need to start from that position.
So I didn't know where it should start.
You need to come to the table.
Sure, please, if you would.
Here, John, there's a safe.
Be sure his microphone is on, yes.
How do you turn it on?
Just push the button and hold it, and the red light comes on. It is now on. Good job.
Okay. December, I proposed a positive pay program, and this is strictly a recommendation or a procedure to protect public funds. It's nothing more, nothing less.
Right.
I have no problem with other committees looking at this, Budget and Finance, whatever committees you want to move it to and discuss. I think they'll see that positive pay is a precautionary measure to avoid or try to avoid check fraud. So
Good.
I think this is a good idea, and I think that I applaud everyone for wanting to do your due diligence on it. The only concerns I have is the amount of time to get this through each committee and get it taken care of. You know, I hope that while we're looking at all this, we're not another victim of check fraud. So, again, this is a procedure to protect public funds. So I'd like to see it move forward a little faster than what we're moving.
Right.
The fastest,
Explain to them about whitewashing.
w-
What's already
we
happened.
heard that before, so,
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that part. The fastest way would be for the budget finance director to say, I wanna do this and bring it as a budget item, to budget and finance, we could prove it in a couple of weeks.
And then vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would just be a funding question,
Okay.
I think. If they say they don't wanna do it, then the question becomes, is the commission gonna force them to do it?
Well, my question is, why would anyone in a government leadership role not want to take the direction to protect public funds?
Well, I don't think you can say that the funds aren't protected. I mean, it just becomes a matter of how much, there's two questions there, what you just asked, which is, how many security measures do we need before we feel secured enough? Because I can always add more security measures. I can always say, oh, I could do this one more thing and it would protect public funds better. So, you know, how much additional security am I actually gaining with the service? And if it's some, that's great. And the other thing is, what's the cost of that service compared to some other service that might give equivalent protection? So just, I'm all for protecting public funds. I don't think I have the authority to just nilly-willy demand that it can be done.
That's my whole purpose in bringing it before this committee.
Yep.
And that was my, as again, I was looking the purpose and responsibilities and looking at different committees and seeing these kind of things. And I was questioning whether we can approve the procedure that's been, where people approve that and they send it here before it goes to the full commission.
Right.
And we can approve that procedure. But I didn't know that we could edict or mandate that this policy be put in place. And I thought that
Well,
those
again-
working with the funds, like the Budget and Finance Committee, would be the proper place where that would begin.
You know, again, that's the whole reason I brought it to this committee and asked for a resolution to be made and then take it to the full commission. So I don't have a problem with what you're doing. I just would like to see it move a little faster. Any questions?
I would ask insight from our counselor about, would it be, could we as a committee make that resolution, or it would seem like to me it'd be more functional.
I think we need to think about it. I think Mr. Seaburn brings a phenomenal insight into this, because you're right. I don't know how much is enough and how much is too little.
Well, we don't have anything at this point.
We have
Are
no
you-
protection.
We have no
Are you
protection
aware of any?
at all.
No.
You have FDIC.
Yeah, so what happens if somebody writes a bet, steals a check from the county? What happens to the county? Will you pay
Well,
it?
you know, actually, we probably have, insurance on that.
We
but-
do, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we do, but it depends. I mean, it's the amount of the check and how it got there. I mean, there certainly is a criminal aspect to this. I wouldn't want it brought upon voters that they would have to, you know, pony those monies up. But, if this committee feels it necessary for a two-check policy or something along those lines that would be something greater than nothing, I guess we can do that. I mean, I think there would be added administrative cost to that. But, you know, again, then we have to think, who's gonna be the second signer? Right? I mean,
Does that,
isn't
that
what
doesn't
we're
help with the
talking-
check washing problem though, does it?
It really doesn't.
No.
I don't think it really does.
This solution John's talking about protects you from that. And that they have to double check and make sure the check they received is the check you sent. That's the way it works.
It's a simple verification process.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
we're-
it's a verification.
We're using it in a trustee's office, so it's a simple verification process.
Okay,
Right.
are we
So how
talking
does-
about,
so how does that-
does this work
how does
through
it work?
banks, or does this work through, you know, who does this work through?
How's the verification process work again, John? It's been a couple months.
The verification process is actually through the website at the bank, through the
Which
internet.
bank?
Our bank that handles our checking accounts.
Okay,
And every morning, we receive a verification of checks. Not all checks have to be verified, just the exceptions. If there's a check that doesn't match, that's gonna show as an exception. And at that point, somebody has to make a decision. And generally, it should be the person in accounts payable is
But
processing
when
the
you say it
checks.
doesn't match, what is compared to be matched?
It could
aren't they
be,
doing that anyway?
no.
No, he's talking about, but I just don't remember how the process was, John. You guys write a check, then the bank goes to cash the check, and they compare it back to, how does that system work?
A check you've uploaded, correct? Isn't that
Right.
the way it was?
Right.
You would upload the check to their system. And then
Right.
when they got the check from whoever it paid for it to be cashed, or
If I made the check
Funds
out, made the
sent.
check out to,
it
Frank.
would, right.
somebody took the check and changed the name to Mike, that would be considered an exception. So at that point, it would show up on the screen as an exception. So you could either approve it or deny it.
So how is that checking done on their end? Is it computer automated, or is somebody manually doing that?
I don't know the answer to that question.
And on,
That's
and on your side,
a logistic question.
how are you uploading the checks? Are you like manually scanning the checks? Is it, how are you doing it? How does it work?
How
The,
many checks do we do a month?
His office only does a few.
we do a few. The checks can be loaded in a file.
So how are you doing that, loading in the file? Are you hand typing them in, or you automate it?
What's a few?
If there's several checks, they can be loaded into a file. If, we're not,
But
we
who-
don't, we
how
don't
is- How
have,
is that loading process? Are you having one of your people sit and type the amounts in?
no, we don't have that many checks for that particular need.
So how, when you write a check, how does it get uploaded?
I'm sure that,
How are you doing
I'd
it?
be
How are
more
you
worried
doing it?
about Frank than I would be about.
No, it's not my question. I'm just
Sorry.
saying, first of all, the question's,
Tell me to be quiet.
No, if you're already utilizing it, John, how is your office doing it?
Okay.
That's what Lynn, I think, is
that's a simple
asking.
question.
we're not uploading the checks, okay? We're
Okay.
not-
But you're uploading the amounts, right, somehow?
We're not uploading the amounts.
Well,
okay?
well, then what are they checking?
They're looking at all the checks. Everything that we have now is an exception because we're not uploading, okay? Now,
y'all are
So
checking every
everything
check.
is an exception according to them because you're not uploading them?
absolutely.
Okay.
So you're
Okay.
verifying every single check?
Yes.
How many is that a week or a month?
I don't know, Lynn, it's probably, I don't know, probably 20, 30 checks.
So
A month?
Mariana's office has over 1,000 checks a month.
Okay.
Frank, how many?
Does
do
she
you
have,
do?
when
Huh?
she,
How many do y'all do?
We write 0 checks.
Okay.
Remember, we sent them
This
over here
is-
for her to ride.
Mary Ann,
And let me,
don't write
let
any.
me, let me kind of just jump in here. This is the reason I think it ought to go to the budget and finance. And because you all have the means and the people you can contact and you understand what we're doing. And so that's why I was saying, I don't think we have the resources to look into all this. We want some security, but to look at the details and the process and what's going on now.
I would guess that the
there is a-
budget and finance, let me get your question answered. I would guess that the budget and finance, when they, list all their accounts payables, when they do their checks, I would expect that they would have a list of those checks. So it should be a matter of just taking that list, setting it to a file, and then sending it to the bank.
Well, that's my point though, is there's gonna be a process installed, and maybe software required to do that. or you're gonna have
That
to
software is
have-
probably already there.
Don't know about that one way or the other, but if you're gonna create a list that's some computers checking, then it's gotta be in a certain format that the other computer's expecting, you know, it's gonna have to be a custom solution or a package that you buy. My point is, there's gonna be potentially with their office, a lot more expense involved to using this service than your office.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's
And
fine.
so, that cost versus the payoff we're getting, that's the question.
Yeah.
And we can figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to doing it, I'm all for doing it if it makes financial sense and it doesn't cause us to have to hire another person to process checks. And
Do you still have that he presented, the documents that John presented
I've
to us?
still got it, I've still got it in my
Okay,
office.
so
Yes.
if you would
I
work
will
with the
talk to
budget
Mary Ann.
finance,
Yes,
if we can
I
just
will.
do that
I will,
and start there, because you guys have all the context,
yep.
okay? And then let it come back here and to get it approved. You said something about 2 weeks? Search that
I
out?
said
or-
I'll try to talk to her in the next 2 weeks. Our budget meeting's not until fourth Thursday of the month.
Okay.
So,
But we could have it by our next meeting.
Yeah, in theory.
That decision resolution.
in
Okay.
theory, yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we do that? Because we've got the people that can,
Thank you.
I think that Ed has a golden opportunity next time he's in Capstar to talk to Brent Parsley about how all that works. It works within the bank. That technology and that software is adaptable to the banks.
Yeah,
The-
but-
The bank is the one that's gonna be calling.
But the
Okay.
bank has to have something from us to know what to check. That's what.
They have a way of checking. This system will tag it if it's whitewashed. They know how.
That's a different thing
I
than
know,
what John has
but
described to me.
That already happened in the county already.
I know, I
since he's
understand that,
talked to
yeah,
y'all about
yeah.
it. But I think we're not thinking about what he's trying to tell you. I'm sitting here as an outsider listening, and I'm listening to what the program is. It's not gonna cause this abundance of work. It's going to alert the bank to alert you.
And if that's the case, great. My point is, we got asked to dictate to the budget office to do this process.
I think it was brought to your table as a recommendation.
But we are being asked to implement it. And that's okay, I got no issue with people asking us to do it. Now, I'm saying now, should I do that? And I don't think I should do that without the agreement of the mayor's office and Mary Anna's office. That's all
Let
I'm
me
saying.
ask a dumb
That's all I'm
question.
saying. Yeah.
Ready? What about the bank?
What about
You
the
know, Are the banks capable of doing this within
I thought it was
the
I thought it was a
existing-
third-party service that
It
that
is a
does.
third-party service, cause they can't,
That's,
they don't
that's,
offer.
so we're gonna hire somebody.
No.
It's a fee, it's a
No.
service.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
No,
you
no,
can,
no, John?
you can continue to talk this and talk this and talk this. It's very simple,
Simple.
okay?
I'm not saying it's not simple.
You're not gonna have to hire 1,000 people to do this.
I was just making the
Oh.
point that we haven't actually asked the question. So.
Once I
we-
heard the example the
I,
other day,
I understand the example.
I didn't think there was a
Yeah.
question.
Again, it's not rocket science, if you will, okay?
Can I say something? I think that the main thing here is it is an added expense to the budget, right?
It may or may not be.
Okay.
It will be an expense if it's a service we
Yeah,
have to pay
that's,
for.
so that's why,
But on the other hand, it's always insurance. Yeah, it's a form of insurance in
Right.
essence. I'm not opposed to doing this if it makes sense to do it. I just feel like we ought to respect the authority of the office we're asking to do it and try to get their buy-in just instead of saying, let's do it without even talking.
And I can appreciate that. At the same token, do we get their buy-in on cyber testing and cyber training?
If it comes to that, then we can have that discussion at this point, but I
Okay.
believe in talking to the office before you impose something on them.
Not a problem.
And
Thank you very much.
Sure, and like I said, that was, I think that, to direct it to the other committees that are in charge of this,
Yeah.
and could do that, where you have people and folks that are working in that situation already, and then bring that resolution back here, to go on to the full commission, okay? Is that just okay with all the committee? All right,
I'll go try to work through it.
all right, very well. Do we need a motion and second to do that, or we're just approval that we want it to go to the
You
right?
Like I
Put it
say, I
back on the
apologize, I
next-
didn't,
You can put it back on the
I
agenda. for
apologize, I
next
didn't get it done
month.
by this
Okay.
meeting, but
All right. Well, just
Hadn't been
stay in touch with me, and if
Will
we
do,
get as a
yeah.
resolution, we'll
feel
look
free
at
to
that.
ping me in a couple of weeks if you want to make sure.
Again, I don't want to overreach and government and responsibility, so again, that's why I thought,
I'll put
It
2
needed to
weeks
go.
in parentheses.
okay,
Question mark.
all right, very good.
Not to put you on the spot.
All right. The next thing on the agenda is further consideration, discussion of the organization and establishment of a county salary pay plan. As we talked about in the Policies and Procedures Committee, the last one that met, the mayor is going to stand up a committee of folks, and I believe it's 5. And that'll be a standing committee to work, and I think it's till the end of May or July, I'm not sure, but the mayor will stand that committee up to look at that pay plan. And after they
forgotten he was doing
look at that and resolve all that issue, and then that'll bring it to the full commission. It'll come, of course, through us and then go to the commission.
If they resolve it in 5 weeks, I will give personally the medal to whoever's in charge. But we need progress,
Absolutely.
we need progress, so
But-
anything that would help the, Budget and Finance Committee with that would be welcomed.
Yeah, we
Well,
don't
and-
have anything, right now, just, there's no,
And another thing, I don't think, they need to reinvent the wheel.
No,
Speaking about it with some folks, I think they need to reach out to some of the other counties and entities and try to see what they're doing, encapsulate that, bring it together, and then try to piecemeal it to what fits us. If one looks good and we can follow it, great. If not, then hey, just take a little bit out of each one to see what best fits our entity and our county and go that route.
right.
I think our mayor's working on that.
So.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
think
being
he is.
worked. And I think that they're trying to find members of this committee, Policies and Procedure, and the Budget Finance Committee. So those would seem like the 3 committees that would be interested in that. So that is just a report that kind of lets you know where that stands. And it'll be maybe a couple of months or however long that committee is standing and until they report back before we hear more about that. Okay? Now, let's entertain the next item there of old business, further consideration. Do any of you all have names for people to fill the position on this, open position on this committee?
well, it could be anybody, right, but in theory, but,
I thought it was gonna be the person
well,
that
I was
wins
gonna
the
say,
primary.
hopefully after
Tomorrow.
tomorrow, we'll have
We'll
some
know-
idea, right?
We'll have some idea who's taking
Right.
Claude's spot to maybe just bring that representative on.
Okay,
Yeah. Do you
Well,
know
we'll
if
just-
the
So that
mayor
seat
intend to,
Will
is he gonna
continue
let
to
the
serve on the
commission?
committee.
right.
Make this appointment.
It would be my recommendation to let the voters decide. right?
No, I
Yeah.
meant as far as appointments on this committee.
I don't.
You don't know, okay, yeah.
Well, this is normally appointed by the mayor and approved by the commission, so.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, committees are appointed ultimately by the commission.
Right.
But I believe in working with mayors on that, but in any case.
Well, there's some committees we can appoint, and there's some that have to be appointed by somebody
Yeah,
else,
yes,
and we
yes,
have
but
to
I'm talking
approve
about-
it.
But I'm talking about
So-
the internal
Right.
committees of the commission itself.
Okay,
So we're gonna wait till the election tomorrow and,
Yeah, and hopefully by our very next committee meeting, we'll be able to appoint somebody on that and,
well, primary.
I'm,
Maybe.
okay.
oh, that's true.
Could be
Yeah,
an independent.
That's true.
So we'll just keep that, we'll hold on with that thought.
Well, no, I mean, we could appoint, the commission could appoint somebody to this committee at any meeting.
Yes.
So we could appoint somebody from the existing commissioners, but I'm kind of with you. Let's wait and get.
I'm always in favor of hearing from the people,
Yeah, yeah.
always.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. This committee member, the seat could be anybody on the commission now.
Right.
We wouldn't have to wait on that. We could do that at the very next meeting if we wanted to, but I'm kinda like y'all, let's see who gets elected.
Okay?
Cause those portions are gonna need assignments anyway, so.
Sure.
Well, with no disapproval, we'll just
Have to
consider
suffer
this,
along with the rest of
continue this to the next meeting. Okay. All right. Now, we have three new pieces, new business things to consider here. And, let's just, and all we're doing is looking at the process and the procedures that are going on. The first one is the Capital Outlay Committee. And, what they are seeking to do is to rescind the resolution 9323, and that has to do with how they set up, I think, the beautification,
It was a courthouse restoration and
Right.
maintenance board.
right?
And it, remind me, so this is basically defunct now, or what, we're going to change it?
Yes,
or-
it's all, yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of restructure.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ed, it's
I
what
think the city
it,
has,
well, that and it rolled up is that capital outlay pretty much does it anyway under
Yes.
their charter.
yes, yes.
yeah.
And so this was just an offset resolution that was sitting over there that was never filled. So it didn't make sense of just letting it sit out there, so might as well tidy things up and,
31 years ago,
yes. And then,
93.
Yeah,
The depressing part is that 93 was 31 years ago. That's
Yeah.
the part that I can't wrap my
Thanks.
mind around.
thanks, appreciate that,
Yeah,
year I started.
that's what happened, okay, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's easy enough, I think.
So this one was just
If
tidying the
this
books up
function is not
basically
actually
and
being
not
done,
having
then
it
there's
just
no
sitting
reason
there
to
with
have
no
them.
Right.
numbers.
No.
Cleaning it up and removing.
Various
Yes.
things, personally.
but just,
yes,
again,
it's
running it by
various
us, before it goes to the full commission to be removed.
Well, I think, are you gonna draft to rescind this, or is it just gonna be a simple,
I think it can. be-
Resolution
I think
rescinding-
it can be done through the meeting of the full commission.
Resolution 93-23 is hereby rescinded.
it's hereby rescinded and dissolved? So,
All right, it was a board, so it wasn't incorporated or anything like that,
No.
right?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I move to rescind resolution 93-23. I recommend sending that to the full commission.
second.
Okay? A motion and second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Okay. So that,
It's a resolution to shred paper.
Pretty much.
I think it's there, the minutes where they did that, it's all there.
It is.
Yeah, the Capital Outlay Committee
Did we send the
thing
budget
is there.
finance 3 months ago now? I don't even remember.
Okay,
Courthouse beautification was what budget finance?
That happened.
What?
That's.
Oh,
been-
that's because capital
that's
outlay
been
sent it
and
to
done.
us
That's
because
been
it,
and done.
yeah, because it came out of capital outlay.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's been and done,
Yeah.
The courthouse beautification.
Yeah, we voted on that already, didn't we?
yes.
Why is it on our agenda? Was that just a funding for, I can't even remember now.
the budget finance thing, I don't see those papers in here.
It was,
Well, all I seen was on your
Shortfall.
notice here, it said courthouse beautification.
As
Item
best-
sent
Oh,
to
yeah,
legislative
yeah.
as
board
best
for
I
full
can
commission.
remember.
There
What
was
was-
a
but what-
recommendation of moving our investment.
No.
I
that
can't see
wasn't-
those.
That wasn't this.
No, he's talking about.
I am, sorry.
I don't see that paper here.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
see it. What was added to here for, what was,
Oh, the Budget and Finance meeting agenda,
Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's on there.
the people who take care of our bonds, they were moving out of state. And so the recommendation came to us to move it
okay.
to Regions Bank,
Why does
Nashville.
that come here?
I'm sorry,
Why does that come here?
was that come through here? Was that your
Maybe,
question?
yeah, I didn't realize we were sending it here.
we're just approving of that process, is what we're doing in this meeting. They're making a recommendation of moving those,
I suspect it's already been done. Because,
okay,
because when we voted yes, I think Mariana thought that gave her approval to do it. But did we, I can't remember, we probably discussed that in the meeting, but I don't remember. Were you there? You weren't at that meeting, I don't think.
this came like the same day we had our last meeting,
Yeah,
and we didn't have time to look at it. We didn't have that information. And we weren't able to do that. But if it's already been done, then it's a
well,
moot point.
I say it's been done, it maybe not, if it probably requires a full vote, so, of the commission, so it probably hasn't been done. So I'm glad to vote for it. So just so y'all know what that was, the, there's we have, agents that service our bonds,
Right.
and. those-
Wilmington Trust,
Well, is that what yeah, that's what it was.
transfer bonding
And
paying.
they closed their office in Tennessee or something like that.
Correct.
So they moved all of it to New York. And Marianne's like, if I need to get on the phone and talk to somebody, I don't want to talk to somebody in New York. Much rather we keep that in the state of Tennessee. And so we moved it local and took it back. She recommended moving it to another bank system here in Tennessee. And
Okay.
we agreed with that because, those people come down and talk to us in person, and you're not going to get that kind of service out of the New York
No,
office.
they're gonna talk or Zoom you.
Yeah.
Well, that was
And
what
she
I was
goes-
saying.
And she
that-
goes, I feel like I can get a hold of, I can reach out and touch someone in Tennessee. I can't
Yeah.
do that. So it doesn't really it doesn't change anything about the bonds. It's just who's providing the servicing of the bonds. So,
I'd like to keep that as close at hand and local as possible. But that was sent in our
okay, so yeah,
packet. So
that's,
we're just approving this move that's recommended from the Budget and Finance Committee.
I'll let one of y'all make the motion on that since I'm chair.
I'll make a motion to
Okay,
send it to
second.
full legislative.
Frank and
A second.
Roseanne, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right. Yep, that was stuck to the back of that other page. Okay, the third thing here under new business is the request for this resolution. Every 10 years, we're required to make a report, a plan, a 10-year project plan. You see that from the Coffee County Rule of Solid Waste, and you see all the things that are listed there. And this just fulfills our responsibilities that are listed under the resolution here on the other page, 2024-02, that resolution. And it talks about this to be in accordance with Tennessee Code Annotated, and it lists that there. And according to those rules and the things that you see there in the resolution, all we're doing is approving this process for this resolution to be presented to the full commission. That we are turning in, we're sending in this report.
I'm all for this because I think we need to have capital improvement plans across the board, even for the ones we don't have now, so.
So we're just approving of this resolution to go to the full commission.
Yeah, this is basically documenting that you actually have the plan done, so,
Yeah, the plan is right there,
yep.
listed under the heading Coffee County Rural Solid Waste. 10-year project plan.
All right, I'll move for approval.
Second.
Okay? Resolution gets that motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Unanimous approval. Okay.
Why is our next meeting scheduled for March 25th? Are we trying to get something done before? Or is that just what's our normal meeting time? Isn't it first Monday?
It should be the last Monday or the fourth Monday of the month.
Okay, I thought it was.
So we're
That was
just
the
trying to get back on
pattern.
track.
We're
I
trying to
thought,
get
I
back
thought
on
we
that
were, I
track.
thought we were on the first Monday.
We had gotten off trying to catch
Okay.
up with some things, and so this puts us hopefully
Puts me
back in
to
pattern.
Two committee meetings in one week,
And so,
that's okay.
is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Doesn't really matter with me one way or the other. Gotta be here the same number of days a month regardless, so.
Okay. Anything else we need to address that we're here? Thank you for working through all this and being available to meet. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Thanks for being here.